Hi. Today we're going to be talking about who is narrating your story. So we all have thousands and thousands of different thoughts every day. In fact, science has shown us through brain scans how many thoughts we have, because what they look like is like these little, if you imagine little lights that buzz around in your head like little cars on tracks. Those pathways are where your thoughts and responses are coming through, and that we have thousands of them every day. But what do you think they could all consist of? When you think about where your attention usually is your attention, when you pause and think about what kind of thoughts do I have, is it on organizing? Is it on creating? Is it on positive aspects of yourself that you appreciate? Or is that a new concept? And what is really important to be so aware of is how many of these thousands of thoughts are actually negative. They're really negative, and that this has an impact on you and your daily experience. So if we haven't met before, I'm Lee White. I'm a transformational coach, and I work with women who are change makers, who want to be sharing their impact with the world, who want to be taking their gifts, their creativity, their expertise, and all that they offer the world. But maybe there's a part of them who finds that they're always putting the family's needs first, or the partner, or the boss at work, or other people's needs before their own. And so this aspect of themselves who are wanting to make a difference and wanting to express what they really came to Earth to do is not happening. That's why I'm here as a transformational coach, and I am talking today about this absolute revelation around how many thoughts you actually have each day, and how many of them are helpful and positive, and what you need to be so aware of around whether they're helpful or they're not, is that it's literally a case of where your attention is directed. That's what your outcome is going to be. I can remember, here's a great metaphor for you. I can remember skiing with my late brother, who was an amazing skier. I am totally hopeless. You'll never hear me saying that I'm not, competent at things very often. I don't think it's good to talk about ourselves negatively, but the fact of the matter is I'm not great at skiing. And he was saying to me, just point the tips that way and you will go that way. That is such a great metaphor for really monitoring your thoughts around noticing, are you really focusing on worrying about the outcome of things that you have no control over? Not whether you can get ready for work in the morning on time or something like that, you have a degree of control over that. But things that are beyond your control, things that are occurring naturally, like growing older, or your parents growing older, or someone that you care about growing older, or challenges that you're having in some way. Ask yourself whether you actually have true control over that. And is it something that is worth your attention or focus or not? Now, I don't know if you can hear it, but where I am today, we are having the most sudden, massive thunderstorm. I hope my internet is not going to be interrupted, and I hope that you're not going to be able to hear it. So lovely having you here with me this afternoon. I need to pause for a quick drink because there's a lot to get through. When we're talking about the thoughts that you're having, whether it's helpful or not, where are you being directed in your outcomes by what you're allowing your attention to be focused on, it's absolutely critical, because if you're not being mindful of whether your thoughts are helpful you're also overlooking the fact that that sense of like, it's almost like your inner voice, you know, words that you're kind of hearing or sensing inside of you that are judgmental around whether some people might notice that when they like lose the car keys in the house or something, they have an internal dialogue that's saying, you're an idiot. You always do this. You're always losing things. I'm just describing. But it's really, really common. And it's a bit like a lot of things in life that people don't realize how harmful it is to be left unattended, like unaddressed. So you're having around 6,000 thoughts a day, according to science, and that a lot of those thoughts might be kind of questionable as to whether they're helpful to you. And what you need to be ready to ask yourself is, who is the narrator of this story? Now, when I say narrator, what I'm talking about is all too often a person might be noticing that it's almost like they can hear some kind of caregiver, teacher, an influential person in their life talking at them on a certain topic. Like if they are driving and they had a parent that once taught them to drive that was very critical, they may really almost revisit that. And what is important to know is not all of the thoughts that you have are yours. They are by previous experiences. Unfortunately, the brain is programmed, was designed to really attach a strong memory to very negative experiences. So you're going to remember your worst experiences much better than your positive experiences. This is not helpful because so much of our brain operates on a way that is thoughts are very automatic, like there's 6,000 of them or so happening every day, that you aren't coming up with all of those. You're not generating those thoughts. It's like this random thought generating machine. So there's a lot of that you need to put aside and say to yourself, this is just a neural network firing here. It's not for me. It's not helpful to me. And you need to be much more focused on being very present in a particular moment and putting aside the worry about things you can't control, future things, past things, it's all happened, and be very aware of just this present moment. So when you're thinking about that narrator and asking yourself, is this even me? Is this even my view? You know, you might be getting a sense or hearing the words that this is hopeless and being really catastrophic about things and really overreacting when, you know, you've been working hard to be calm and really practice being present, and you're thinking, why is this coming up? I don't even agree with these thoughts. That is because you are literally not your thoughts. And it's really important to dig into, who is this narrator? We did a lot of work on this in last weekend's private retreat, and it's so important for you to really consider this perspective, because when you're trying to bring about change in your life, that narrator is playing a really important role. And there's a lot of work in terms of looking into what is underpinning or causing those types of thoughts. What's going on there? Which of these beliefs have been repeated so many times since you were young or something like that? Many, many times that they've become real. You've started to actually believe that maybe you're not really worthy of being able to change your situation. You're not really worthy of being able to feel calm and comfortable and at peace when certain anniversaries come up each year, or when you have to go to certain places or family gatherings. These are all really common things that people struggle with. Or when you're doing a job interview, that might be really something that you have a really negative experience with, and start to believe that you're just not good at it. Many of the things that we have these beliefs about are simply skills that we need to learn. And I'm going to be sharing some new live trainings coming up this month. It's in the next few weeks, and I will be announcing that date really soon. But for now, I'm going to be putting a link below this live Q&A where you can register to hear about those upcoming trainings around what will hold you separate from and hold you back from having more fulfillment around those passions that you know you have. That expertise that you've got, you know, you might be an author, you might be some kind of expert in something, or you might have a creative passion that you really want to share more of the world, of that with the world. But there's a lot of, let's call it mud, surrounding doing that, that's getting in the way, and you find you're never making any progress, or that you want more clarity around what it might look like. I'm going to be doing some live trainings on all of this, and it is really important to come along live and get the most out of that, because there's always material we cover live that we don't do in the replay. So to finish up talking about who's the narrator and why is the narrator of your current stories, why is that so important? Remember, so much of what is coming up in these thousands of thoughts every day could partly be automatic, could partly be like almost reflexive responses that you've just been practicing for a really long time. That doesn't make them real. When you think about people who are very conscious of changing the outcomes in their lives, this could be someone like an athlete. I love referring to athletes because they work very hard to change what they are. You know, they change their attitude, they'll change their habits, definitely. And so that might be the things that they do each day, but then they'll change their outcomes and performance. And all of it is by repetition of the right messages, and knowing that not all of your thoughts are real, that you are not your thoughts, is really, really key. So, you know, some of the things that I'm always teaching are around our mindfulness and our present moment awareness, about taking the time and making the time in your day to be really connecting back into that passion that you have, that soul song, that 1% that you came here with as a soul to be different in this life, that no one else does the way that you do. That aspect of you is what the focus is. So when you're noticing that narrator that's narrating the story in your life, telling you about unworthiness and about things that you can never have, even if people around you have relationships, careers, houses, things that you really desire but aren't currently in your life in the way that you want them, we really got to unpack what is going on around the narrator, where those stories are coming from, and you becoming aware that, just like the tips of the skis, where you're directing your energy and your thoughts is going to create an outcome, and that it's time to really take control over what's going there and do the work that will change their trajectory and change the outcome. You don't want that unhelpful person whispering in your ear like a narrator. You want to be the narrator of your life. And that's why I'm so big on journaling as well, because you get to write the story. You get to reinforce it through that practice of physically writing things, which activates different parts of the brain completely and changes your internal battles to really rewrite the story and create courage and maybe a different type of discipline, a different way of cultivating habits for better outcomes. So let me know in the comments if you know that there are some phrases that come up for you a lot. If you know that there might be a narrator, or if there's a voice that sometimes you notice and you think, oh gosh, that is totally my whoever, caregiver or ex or something talking to you, and you know those phrases and you know those beliefs that don't belong to you, it's really, really key to be very, very aware of that, because that repetition is what is wiring you in the wrong direction and pointing your skis in the wrong direction, definitely. And we don't want any of that, definitely. The story is what you get to choose, and the habits are what you get to absolutely control. There's nothing outside of what you're doing on a regular, habitual basis that you can't address and change with support. I mean, it's all about skills. So I'm really excited to be sharing what will be coming up this month. Do look out in the comments for that page to register on, and let me know if you've got any questions about these thousands of thoughts, which ones to pay attention to, and what you can do to find out more. And we'll be sharing more information on habits this month as well. So thanks very much for everybody that was watching, and it's always great to be connecting with you here. I see you and I appreciate you on your journey of transforming your life and really creating that fulfillment and that impact that you want to be making in this lifetime. Bye for now.